So I figured I'd do a quick video. Baby girl sleeping. Boyfriend went to go get food. So I figured it's quiet now. Let me do a quick video. And I wanted to kind of talk about something different today. Not really different, still in the crafting thing. But, so yeah. So, my name is Amanda. I have a peppermint in my mouth because I was feeling nauseous, and peppermints usually help me not feel so nauseous. But my name is Amanda, and I'm from New York City. I live currently in Queens with my daughter, my bird who's supposed to be taking a nap, and my boyfriend, soon to be 2 kids. Let me move forward. Okay, so I think about a month ago, I did a video on my journey for quilting, and I only put one thing up there because I haven't been able to do quilting. I haven't been able to like set up my machine and actually spend time on the quilting because currently, I work for a non-for-profit, if you didn't know. But currently, the non-for-profit, the way that we get funds is through grants. And so there is a grant out now that we're working on. And so a lot of my time has been on grant writing and supporting the grant process. So I haven't really had enough time to dedicate to taking out my sewing or my knitting. I mean, I've knitted here and there and I've posted pictures on Instagram, but a couple of weeks back, I've been getting a lot of like cross stitching on my Facebook feed, and I was like, oh, let me, it was stamped cross stitching. I was like, let me check that out. So I bought my first cross stitching, and I have been working on that, which allows me the time when my baby girl is sleeping or late at night when I can't sleep because of insomnia, that I don't need to set anything up. I just take this out, got my threads and everything, and I just get to work on it a little bit. And so like I got this last week, like towards the end of the week, and I don't know if you can tell, it's the sun and the moon. This is gonna be a gift, and it's my first one, so I'm actually happy and excited. I don't know nothing about cross stitching. I've always found it interesting, but I figured I spin, I knit, I crochet, and I currently dabble a little bit here and there with the sewings. So I was like, I don't need another project. I don't need another hobby. But as it stands right now, this is the only thing that I could really like take, grab, and go and do and do and do and do. So this is where I am currently, and I can't wait for it to be completed. And I wanted to show it to you before talking a little bit. Sorry for the company. It comes, I got it on Amazon. I don't remember I don't remember who makes it, but I got it on Amazon. And one of the things that I don't like, and I recently also purchased, and I'm going to show you right now, because it's right over here. And I'm going to show you the difference and why I think it's here. And I'm going to show it to you. But I recently purchased another one, and it came a day later. And automatically I saw the difference in the packaging and the quality of. So I'm not hating, I'm not knocking or whatever, but I think I found the company that moving forward, if I want to do it again, that I am that I'm gonna be kind of getting the cross stitching, the stamped cross stitching. There are differences, and I'm learning the differences, but I'm going to talk about what I'm doing now. So here is the picture again of the stamped cross stitching. So if anything goes messing up with this one, then I can always refer to this. However, This looks like it's not as detailed. I mean, it gives you the numbers and stuff of the, look at me, I have it upside down, sorry. It gives you the numbers of the thread that you got to use, which comes with it. It's the kit, so it comes with it. So I have that. But you can't really tell from here, like the real good, like, and I'm gonna show you the difference between the thing that I just recently purchased and this, so you can see how detailed the other pictures are. So the reason why I'm worried about it now is because today I had a doctor appointment and I was like, I'm gonna take this with me and I'm gonna do it on the train. I have an hour and a half ride on the train to my doctor appointment and back, so I'm gonna have time to cross stitch. The problem is that it's raining. If this gets wet, it dissolves. Like the stamp, all of the color that you see here, it dissolves. So I was like, well, I can always refer. This is me prepping to go to my doctor appointment. Oh, I don't even know if I'm recording. Oh, I am recording. Oh, sorry. This is me prepping to go to the doctor appointment. So I'm like, well, if this gets wet, you know, in transit, I can always refer to the picture. But this, I prefer to look at this because this is more detailed, and it also comes with the colors on the side. So there are some colors that come up here that when I look at this picture here, it doesn't show up. So I was like, oh man, I hope that it doesn't get messed up. And I'm so stupid because I brought it with me. But nevertheless, I brought it with me and I was working on it, and it was raining, but this didn't get wet. I had 2 bags. I put this in a plastic bag, and then I put it in the bag that I had, and then I only used it when I felt like my hands were dry enough from holding the umbrella and stuff. And then I took it out and I did it on the train. You know, that process. So here's this. I'm going to be working on this for the remaining of whatever I can do today. It's a slow working, but I'm hoping to get through a good amount of it today since it's Sunday, and then this coming week I'm gonna have so much work to do, but I'm hoping that it will give me my downtime to go to sleep when my mind is currently, you know, active and stuff. So I was doing this while listening to a book on tape about female serial killers. Oh God, so I need to talk about this book, but I'm gonna do it in another episode because I'm almost done. Not an episode, but I'll do it in another video because I'm almost done and I have a lot to say about this book. First of all, it was written by a man, which there's no shade on it being written by a man, but you can hear, and I don't know if it was the purpose of the book, the kind of misogyny, is that what you call it? Patriarchy and misogyny. Yeah, I think so. Tone to the book. I like the way that it was written, and I like I like the way that it was broken down and explained about the female serial killers. But there was something about the book that I was just like, oh man, like so I want to get through it and kind of gather my thoughts about it and then share it with you. All right, so that was my little sidebar about that, and I am going to be talking about what I learned and stuff like that in terms of, because I'm all interested into the true crime, and I think that now there's a lot of interest in it. There's a lot of YouTubers that I follow that talk about true crime. I listen to a lot of podcasts that speak about true crime, and so yeah, so I'm gonna be listening to my true crime. That's why I got the headphones on, so that, you know, my boyfriend could watch his TV and paint. And so I'm gonna listen to my true crime. I'm gonna do my little cross stitch today and call my Sunday a beautiful rainy Sunday. All right, so backpedaling but also moving forward. You see this? Okay, that's number 1. I'm not gonna say nothing because you're gonna see the difference right now. The next thing that I purchased was actually I love the packaging, and it's by Joy Sunday, and again, since I'm new to the stamping, and cross stitching in general, my immediate go-to is now YouTube. So what I did was I went on YouTube and I just searched, stamp cross stitching, and I came across several and a whole lot, not several, but a whole lot of YouTubes on it, and they have like their camera set up so that you can see them cross stitching, and some of them are tutorials along with doing, just doing the cross stitching and talking about their day, what they're doing and stuff, and I kind of found that enjoyable. But a lot of the YouTubers that I was seeing that talked about the cross stitching was speaking highly about this company, Joy Sunday. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get on Amazon and I'm gonna get myself, I'm gonna get myself a Joy Sunday and compare and contrast to what I currently have. So I got this. Automatically the packaging is completely different, and no shade to that, because hey, you get packaging, you get packaging. This is what it is for my sun in the moon. All right, in the back it has the instructions of the cross stitch and how to do it if you haven't done it before, which this has the instructions as well, so yay for that. This comes with a small little picture of what the sun and the moon is supposed to look like when it's finished, and I hope I'm doing it right. Oh my god, there's so much that I want to say, but I hope I'm doing it right. So this is the way it's supposed to look. So it comes with a little picture, yay. Now I'm going to open this up. This comes as a booklet. See the difference? Alright, this is just a picture, so I'm going to flip it over for you. It breaks it down. Do you see the difference? No? Okay, hold on one second. How about now? See that? Oh, one second. How about now? Big difference. Granted, the sizes are different, but big difference. This looks like it's been sitting in the sun. This is well printed out. I love the glossy paper. Again, it has, like the other one, the colors on the side. And I'm going to take out the cross stitch thing, fabric, or whatever you want to call it, and show you that. And the name of this is called Milky Way. And I got it because I just wanted to get it. And I was like, okay, no more after this, because I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. So I don't even know if I'm really going to like it. But I jumped on the bandwagon of, I need to get me some stitches. So I got it. And I'm actually, I'm kind of going to try and do work on one at a time as opposed to switching off. Comes in more. This is the overall. It's broken down in sections. And then you have the overall. And I believe that this is the last section here that didn't fit in the other thing. So I have that. That's that. Then it comes with the thread and the numbers. So if you ever run out, you can always just refer to it and probably order it, online and stuff. So, but it comes with the threads. It also comes with 2 needles. Oh, yeah, 2 needles. The sun and the moon came with 2 needles as well, and it came inside the canvas. Fine. These colors are beautiful, by the way. Look at these colors, they're so beautiful. Okay. So there's that. Now for the canvas. I want to make sure that I have it the correct way, which I believe is this way. So it's a bigger piece, which is fine, and it's broken down the same way, and it has the grids, which I like. Can you put that here? Thank you. Thank you, baby. Sorry about that. So, which I like. And I can't wait to get to it. Here's the thing that I want to say. Another thing that I want to compare and contrast to. This, the Galaxy one, I don't know if you can see it, but it's stitched on the edges. And that's to prevent fraying, so to prevent this from moving up and down and kind of coming out. This isn't, and I think that's why I want to focus more on this one, because I already had to pull. See, this had a couple of more inches to it, and it does it now because I already had to cut the fraying. So I want to get this done so none of this is, you know, messed up. So that's what I'm gonna do with this. And I think that's another reason why I just want to stick to this one. But let's see if I can. So I know that there is, you know, if you go in, you come back out, go in, out. But I realized that when I was getting these like things on Facebook about cross stitching and the stamp cross stitching, there was a type of way that people were stitching that was only like you didn't have to go through the back. You didn't have to go through the back and pull out and then go through the back again and pull out. So what they did was they would just go and work the top piece. So after, you know, looking at, you know, I was trying to figure out what the name was. I finally figured it out. I think it's called, damn, now I don't even remember. It's sewing stitch or something like that, where you're only working on the top. You're only working with the picture and not having to worry about doing the back until you're, that's Frankie, until you're, you know, you have to start a new stitch, you know, start a new thread. And then I was looking at like a parking method. I don't know. So the parking method is basically like you're holding the threads in place, 2 sections or something like that with needles. I'm not doing that. I just, because I was setting up to go onto the train, I only put a couple of them because I didn't want to carry all the threads with me. So I'm getting a phone call, excuse me. People have bad timing. So yeah, so there's that. So what I did was, oh, my daughter's up. You're going to see her run right now. Hi, Booey. Come, baby. Hi, Mama. What's the matter? Hi, baby. Say hi. Say hi. She only had like 30 minutes of sleep. Well, I guess that's it for my not rant, but my talk about the cross stitching. Let me see if she let me finish. So anyway, so I was just setting myself up to do it on the train. So I put a couple of different threads that I figured I was going to use and just work off of this section. Now there is a thing. So I love this because it's gridded. You see all the lines and it breaks it down. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and do up to this grid. And then, you know, when I come home, I'll work on the other grids or whatever. So this whole line I was going to do, and then, you know, below it. So with me, one of the things I want to say about working the top stitches is that I'm left-handed. And so I have to hold the canvas upside down in order for my left hand to kind of like feel, in order for me to feel comfortable, because the right hand thing, while I crochet right-handed and knit right-handed, it doesn't really help me with the canvas. So I've been finding it a bit difficult to kind of get like a groove with stitching, especially the top stitching one, because of the way that I have to hold the thread. Yeah, and so I'm trying to learn that. The other thing is, you know, they always talk about how, like, what I've learned and stuff, or what I've seen on the YouTubes, is that they, um, the stitches, you know, very particular about how the stitches are supposed to be going one way, one way, one way. So I've been very like conscious of when I'm doing it the left hand, especially because the way I have to hold it is upside down, and then depending on which way the amount of colors are going, I kind of had to like switch it off. So I've been very conscious of looking at which way my stitches are going. So far I think that I'm doing it okay. I really don't know. But so yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to say for the time being. Um, before it starts to get super loud, I'm gonna say thank you for joining me, and I hope to give you an update soon. Again, I think that I'm just gonna focus on cross stitching as opposed to knitting, crocheting, and sewing, because this is something that I is really just for me anyway. Grab and go and do a couple and put it down, and I don't have to worry about setups. I don't have to worry about a whole bunch of things being laid out or whatever. Even like my yarn balls, my daughter goes ball and she takes it and she throws it. And so it gets tangled, and I don't want to have to, you know, I'm trying to use that as a de-stressor and stuff. So I'm actually happy that that I went ahead and I got this, because I can just set up the threads that I do want to focus on, the sections that I do want to focus on, and then just use it up, and then from there, you know, replace it if I need it. But I can only, you know, put it away and not to have a whole bunch of stuff or whatever. And as you can see, I rolled it up. I mean, there are things that hold it down, but I prefer it. I'm finding that I like to just have it like this, and it helps. And so as I learn more about like the stitching and what I like or what I'm doing wrong or whatever, I'll definitely share that with you. But for the time being, let me see, there was something that I keep on like, so the coloring, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I'm trying to have not allow the needle when I'm coming through to get tangled up in the other threads and into the other, um, like when I'm almost done. So that's been a bit difficult for me, trying to like maneuver it so that it's not messing up the other stitch that was done. I hope that in time it gets better for me, but we'll see. But anyway, thank you so much. And I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm so fascinated with true crime and I just need to talk about it, and I think that my boyfriend is done with me talking about true crime stuff, is that when I get a little bit more comfortable in terms of like the sewing aspect and doing it, that I'm gonna be talking about true crime with you. That is my hope. That is my dream, because that's something that it kind of, isn't it weird? I find it to be weird, to be honest with you. Like, it's real life true crime stuff. Like, obviously, you know, there's robberies and murders and thefts and all of this stuff. And because it happened in the past or not so distant past, it's like, wow. And then you start thinking about, like, wow, how could that happen? Or you feel for them, but it's interesting stuff. Isn't that weird? Things that are like not taboo, but not good for just the human race to be fascinated about it. Like, I was just listening to this I don't even want to butcher her name, but she was a queen a long time ago. There's movies out about her. There's, you know, rock bands that are made about her. They said that she was like, you know, she would bathe in her slaves' blood in order to stay young. And I remember watching um, in Amazon Prime, there's this program called Lore, and that was one of the things. I think it was in the last. I only saw 2 seasons, so I don't know if there's any more of them. But it was in the second season, and she was a countess. I don't even know what she was called. I can't even remember right now. But she basically tortured her workers, the peasants of the time. She basically tortured them, and so I'm listening to this story of her, and I'm just finding it so interesting how things have shifted. Another thing that I'm finding interesting, which was a part of the book, one of the books that I was listening to, and some of the stuff that I've seen in true crime on YouTube and on shows and stuff and documentaries is that women, honey, we are nasty. We're nasty in terms of like when we decide to kill, we don't even, well, I don't know, I don't want to say that guys don't blink an eye, but it's for a different purpose. Um, and while it like, so anyway, so I was listening to all of these true crimes, specifically like around women who used arsenic back in the day in order to kill, their husbands and kids. Why are we killing kids? If you don't want any kids, don't have any kids. Why are we killing kids? Why are we torturing our blood? Anyway, so I find it interesting the types of murders that women would do in comparison to our male counterparts. And I find it interesting, just the reasoning behind them. And so one of the books that I'm listening to, I think is the female serial killer one, and I have to remember the author of that book. It was written, I believe, in 2007 or 2017. I think the Audible book was done, read out loud and produced through Audible in 2017. I'm not entirely sure. But one of the things that I find very fascinating is that he speaks to the crimes of what was done in the UK and the crimes that were done in the US, and then what he does is he kind of starts off with the portrayal of a famous serial killer, male serial killer, and then starts to switch and speak to the woman serial killer that kind of matches the idealism of what that male was doing and or the time, the time frame. So it was very interesting. It's a 16-hour listen, which is fine by me. But yeah, so it was very interesting, and I found it to be, it got my mind thinking about like the different types of emotions that the author had been portraying from male versus female, and it got me thinking about how while we're compassionate, we're loving, we have a lot of that the empathy. Um, Boy, when we are fed up, and we just become vicious. Like, you know, um, one of the things, and I'm sorry I'm jumping around, but it's just like I just finished listening, well, because I just got home. But one of the things he was saying was basically like when women commit these crimes, the crime itself is what the women thrive off of. So the murder, okay, because it's female serial killers. So the murder itself is what the females thrive off of, from the studies that have, the studies and stuff like that. It was, from his perspective, that's what women thrive off of, is the act itself. Whereas men, what they truly thrive off of when they are, the serial killers, again, because this is about serial killing, what they thrive off of is the lead up, the build up to the murder, to the act. Isn't that interesting? I found that to be interesting. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think about that. If you find it interesting, why? And what are your thoughts about that? Because I'd like to know, like, I'd like to read and find out, like, where you guys come, you know what I mean? Like, it's just interesting. And the stuff that the women use to kill, like, the things that we are using to kill. I'm reading and listening and all of that, and it's just crazy. You got nurse killers, like You sick, you trying to go over to the hospital and be taken care of, and you got to worry about somebody putting something in your IV and not even knowing what it is, because you know you don't know that stuff if you don't work in the field. So you're trusting the nurses and the doctors to, to have your best interest at heart so that you could feel comfortable and better and get out of the hospital, honey. You think I want to be worrying about the next? I give birth in June. Now I'm listening to all of these females who are nurses or who were nurses, who either, they were just like, wanting the death. They wanting, they got a thrill off of the death of, causing epilepsy. Was it epilepsy? No, but like causing like seizures and stuff like that, to the point where kids are dying. People who are elderly or very sick are dying. Like, what's going on? What's going on? What are you a nurse for? So anyway, I say that to say, like, it's just interesting because there's no mention in terms of serial killing where men are in the position of being in that doctor role or that nurturing role, where they're just using that position. I mean, obviously they're using a position, but they're using that position of, I'm going to take care of you, to kill you. Anyway, so let me know in the comments below what you think. I think I'm going to continue to do these rants. And, but yeah, so thank you so much for joining me. And I very much appreciate being able to have a platform to just talk. But anyway, thank you. I hope you all have a beautiful week. And as always, live life and love it to the fullest. Bye.